And we've had nonstop tornadoes for the last week. Every day, my phone's just like, tornado alert, tornado alert.
Well, everybody else is dry, man. Dry.
Yeah.
Like dry to the bone dry. Like nothing.
Well, we get a lot of hailstorms. Oh, God, I got to show you the video at the end of the show. Drex, a grapefruits were being dropped from the mothership and just going straight through people's windows.
That hail.
That was like
hail damage is no joke, man. Like,
no, it's not.
Hail damage is one of the few things that, like, I will stop what I'm doing to accommodate, right? Like let me give you an example. Your car is place X, right? Like, it's exposed. If you even hear there's a chance, nah, bro, my thing's about to go in some form of a garage, or it's going somewhere right now. Like everything that's happening is getting dropped right now, this second. Like if I was in the middle of a movie, I'd be like, wait, and you get like some little like weather alert, like hail coming. Nope, I will leave the movie. And like I said, given if you're like Mall of America, you're safe. But like if I were somewhere where it's exposed, I would leave the movie to go park my car, because you can always rewatch that movie for $30, right? To get dense hail damage out of a car, especially talking about shattered windows. Oh no.
Oh no. Hey Tim, that was like here. We had that. Oh, we had that like last year. And you know how what's first thing? The TV crews run right out to wherever the damage is.
Oh, of course. They got to show it.
My man came out of the apartments. They were like, "Yeah, we had severe hail damage over here at such and such apartments." Hey, Drex, you know that feeling. My man, they called my man walking outside. Oh, he had a clean Camaro. It was clean. He walked outside, that slow walk, like dude, back windshield destroyed. Yes, it was like that.
Yep, that's the one.
Tim, it was like that, but it was spiked. It was like spiked balls falling out of the sky. I was like,
yep. Oh, Texas gets some good ones, but I mean, Alberta, they call Red Deer, which is north of me, about an hour and a half. They call that Hailstone Alley, and it lived up to its name last night. Drex, that mothership dropped bowling balls on people. Here, I got a video. I didn't time lapse it though, but nah, you know what? We don't have time for that. But thankfully, no one was killed. Damn. No one was killed. Most of them are seasonal or cottage homes, and then the people who were in their basements, and there was quite a few injuries, but thankfully, no one was killed.
Well, at least you guys have basements. If you go in the deep south, there's a lot of homes that don't have basements, man.
Yeah, why not?
You're just exposed.
Like places like Oklahoma, you'd think they would be like, oh yeah, basements are like the best defense to a tornado. Maybe we should start building some.
You'd be amazed, man. You go to like Louisiana and stuff. It's like, what basement?
Yeah.
No, there are no
well,
basements.
Louisiana makes sense with the like the marshlands and the swamps, right? You can't dig; you'll just get water.
Yep. Depending on where you are, if you're right up against like New Orleans is below sea level, Atten below sea level, but like there are places just around the south, like you start going to Mississippi. There's places in Arkansas. I mean, Black Nose, it's just flat. Like people just have whether their trailer or a one level house, they aren't in places where they have protection. So when things happen, that's why like the damage is so catastrophic. You're like, how there's so many fatalities? How did so much damage happen? Oh, they don't have garages. Like it's just you're out there and you're just exposed,
completely exposed, man.
Completely exposed, man.
Yep.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 88 of the Migtown podcast, your only weekly source of the show that doesn't get thrown off PayPal. At least yet. As usual, Producer Tim, joining me is the mayor of Migtown, Drexel. Say hi.
Hello, everybody. Happy August. We are at the very beginning. This is the last month of all children's freedom, depending on where they live. For most kids, this is it. This is the month where depression sets in, because summer break will end, and then they go back to school where they have the face.
The back-to-school commercials on TV.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's crazy. I don't get any flashbacks. Black, do you get that? I got my cousin BlackReign back in the house. Black, what is good with you, man?
Man, what's good people? Glad to be back on the show, man. Yeah, it's funny you bring up that about the kids. I know mine are sick because it's about to come to an end. So I'm going to do what I do every year. I rub it in. And I play It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. I blast it every first day of
Oh yeah,
school.
yeah. Get these kids out of that damn house, man.
Hey,
It's horrible.
gotta go.
It's
Gotta
horrible.
go.
Yeah, this is a
Yep.
rough time for parents. For those of you who don't know, summer is great for kids and terrible for parents because the school system is, of course, the babysitter, right? And as you're sitting there and these kids start getting on your last nerve, and I mean, let's face it, all kids really want in life is for mom and dad to leave the house to go to work and just leave money and never actually come back for the rest of the summer. Because that's what kids really want deep down. They're like, if mom and dad walked up and said at the beginning of June, like, yeah, we're gonna be gone for the summer. Well, yeah, hold on. Here's a big pile of money. This should last you. Boom. They're like, oh, wait, really? And wait, when are you coming back? Yeah, we're gonna come back on the first day of school. Cool. Kids would be totally content.
Just make sure the Wi-Fi bill's paid.
Yeah. Like I say, like if all the bills are paid, that because remember you have the only thing, especially with boys, the only thing boys need is food. That's it. That's all boys need is food.
And I know that even that's optional.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, Black,
You get
know.
Oh, you
Hey,
get into a game, you can go days
Yeah,
without.
yeah,
Oh no,
exactly.
yeah. Dude, once they're in the zone, like this is the thing. Showers don't
optional.
happen. Food doesn't happen. Like you have to actually be. And here's the thing: the
You don't
only
even need
time.
to do laundry.
No, yeah. Boys
Just throw on the same shirt.
they will sit there until they have to alter their behavior. They'll sit there like literally in the zone, and all of a sudden they're like, meh, and keep playing. And like someone has to literally walk in an outside force, and be like, bro, but dude, you smell terrible, fam. Like, damn.
Oh man,
Now they'll get up and like, all right, I guess I got to shower. Otherwise, they'll just sit there, dude, forever, indefinitely. They won't shower. They won't do nothing, man.
my mother used to threaten to throw a bucket of water on me if I didn't get my ass in the shower.
Yeah, it was something, man. But Black, there's been some funny things happening. Recently, you joined us this past Saturday for a great moment. Being that we're going to talk about, of course, we got to talk about excellence. Excellence doesn't get talked about enough. Because, I mean, we live in a society where everyone talks about mediocrity all the time, right? That's all we hear about is some mediocre, sorry punks and people who are just flat out losers. That's all you hear about. This person's suffering. This person feels that their rights are being violated. It's like, oh my God, is there even going to be some talk about like when you grew up in like the Jordan era, right? You grew up in an era where like the only thing that ever got any props was excellence, right? Excellence got all the props. Being mediocre, okay, you were a bench warmer. You got no props. Because here's the thing. The people who talk the most about their sexuality or their politics or whatever, do you know who they are? They're losers, right? Losers. Because that's all losers want to talk about. Losers don't want to be excellent, and they want to drag everything else down. But we're here tonight to bring excellence back. And the beauty of that, though, is that, like I said, we had this moment this past Saturday. We watched the fight, right?
Yep.
Now, Black, what are your comments on the latest UFC fight, in particular the title fight between Miss Pena and our girl, the Lioness, Amanda Nunes?
Yo, first of all, I mean, you got to tip the cap to both fighters.
Yep.
I mean, you got to have a pair on you just to even step in the octagon, period. Right? But for them, they put it on the line. Right? Obviously it was the rematch, but I mean, you can't, when you talk about excellence, I mean, you got to tie in stuff like grit, heart, determination. Like, these are all things. I mean, I've seen people that would have tapped in Pena's situation.
Oh yeah.
You get busted up the way she did. I mean, she looked like she was fighting Shredder, with her face. You know what I'm saying? Her shit was cut all up. I'm like, well, you got to go see a plastic surgeon after the fight. Yeah. You took some blows.
Well, you heard Dana White said a chunk of her forehead was gone, man.
Yeah.
Dana White said a chunk was missing out of her forehead. I'm like, bro, a chunk?
Damn.
A chunk was gone?
She
Like,
took some vicious
vicious
right hands
blows.
that have normally just
Like,
Most of Nunez's foes were vanquished. It's over. Like she took those blows and got back up. And I'm
Yep.
like, dude,
you guys
tip the
know that
cap.
skin is very elastic. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bone ain't though.
Right.
Yeah, skin moves. Look,
The
and that bone.
oh
Man. Right.
damn.
Like her forehead, dude. I'm like, oh my God. It's some vicious elbows she took. But at no point, that goes to show you how supremely conditioned both women were, though. Even despite the blows and all that the pain was taken, at no point did you see her like where she was just out on her feet, just gassed. Because we got some athletes that, I mean, let's be honest, they're poorly conditioned, like for
Very
the sport
poorly.
that they play, right?
Well,
And
let's
you
be
push
honest though,
stuff, push it
Black.
to the limit. It's a wrap.
When it comes to combat sports in particular, right? Let's be fair about this. We talked about this at length in the chat, where shout out to Whiplash because I think that was his first time seeing the women fight. He came in thinking that like a woman's fight is going to be like lackluster, and everybody in the chat's like, no, 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 no. The women
No,
have the better fights
they
consistently.
do.
Like,
They
and
do.
here's the thing: if you notice with women's fights, it's very rare that you see women gassed. Dudes are gassed in 2 rounds.
Yep.
2 rounds. Like, look, a title fight in the UFC is 5 rounds, right? I have seen consistently, right? Consistently, a lot of your fights between rounds 2 and 3, you already see the guy gas, and that's why the end of round 3 and round 4 tend to be terrible in men's fights because they're
Yep.
trying to catch their breath for that final round. Like, all right, I got to make a last stand for the judges or get a knockout. With these ladies, they fought from the moment the fight started to the moment that final bell rung.
Exactly. That's what made the fight, right? And that's the case as you mentioned with most of the women fights,
Yep.
right? You know that you're gonna get your money's worth out of their fights versus the dudes, because a lot, like you said, once you get past about the third round mark, most of the time it's a bunch of holding, grappling. I'm laying
Yep.
there. You see both guys just,
Sucking air.
breathing
Yep.
heavy on each other, right? They're just laying there, and I'm like, come on, man. Like you're supposed to be the best in the world at what you do. Like where's your conditioning? You could tell the people again who fought to that point. I mean, there's few on the men's side, like Adesanya and a few others where like these dudes are supremely conditioned. Like you can tell. Like when the fight's over, these dudes are still composed and they're not gassed and gasping for air and they can barely get the hand raised.
Yep.
At the end of the fight.
Well, I think it's a lovely thing because see, there's a few things that I really noticed during this fight, right? And one of the things is that we talk about excellence. We can't underestimate the fact that this fight, like you said, was a rematch. See, Amanda Nunes. Now, everyone knows that she's my favorite female fighter, right? Bar none. And I mean, she deserves extra props for taking out Cyborg, a fighter that people literally thought was unbeatable, literally unbeatable.
Yep.
I mean, Cyborg reigned supreme for a decade, literally, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she may or may not be a man. I ain't gonna say nothing. Shout out to Chris Cyborg. But here's the thing, though. This is the thing. There's a lot of lessons to be learned from watching this past UFC fight with Miss Nunes because Amanda Nunes greatly underestimated her opponent. See, I missed the first fight,
Yes.
and I remember
Yes.
all I heard was that she lost, and I hit up Black like, how did our girl lose? Like, and I said, I go, did she take the fight lightly? And he goes, well, she looked like she didn't, it wasn't like she didn't train like that or whatever. And yeah, she just got outclassed. And so when I watched the replay, one of the things I noticed was she had no head movement.
None.
Amanda Nunes' head literally, okay, she fought Pena the way Ronda Rousey fought her. Head on the center line, no movement, no nothing. Your hips aren't moving. So she's just taking blows while trying to dish blows, right? That war of attrition is never good because all someone has to do is just hit you on the button and stagger you. And I noticed that. But the most important thing is Amanda Nunes lost that fight. Yep, she lost, right? She lost fair and square. It wasn't a fluke, none of that. This is what we talk about, Black. It's the grit, right? losing, people always talk about, these unbeaten records. Unbeaten records don't mean nothing to me.
Oh my God.
Nothing. I'm
Just
tired of
don't
even
even
hearing
wanna
this
get
stuff.
talked
Like,
about
okay,
that shit.
this is for everybody out there who are, let's say you're a boxing fan. I'm going to end this once and for all. Rocky Marciano is not the best boxer of all time, nor is Floyd Mayweather, okay? And no, don't hold their perfect record up over their head. Talk about like, well, this proves that they're better because they're perfect. No. A perfect record just means you picked and chose fights you knew you were going to win over a career, right? You didn't really take those risks. Now, Nunes still should have won the first fight. She just didn't train properly, and even the announcer said as much. Like, no, she looks in much better shape. She looked much more determined, much more engaged.
Yep.
And
You can
let me
tell
ask you
she
this
was
though,
slimmer
Black.
in this fight.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was
She had
in
something
that
to
fight.
prove. Like you could tell, she fought like
Yeah.
there was something to prove, and she was smiling in between rounds, like she wanted it more. Right? When you're the champ, you get complacent. I think these are the kind of things that happens, right? Like because think about it. When someone says, "Yo, Black, we're chasing excellence," right? What happens when you climb the mountain and you get the belt, right? And you keep defending it over and over. You start to, because now what are you chasing, right? You're not chasing excellence. You're just chasing what the norm, because the norm is just retaining the belt. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what does
That's
that
what I
mean to
look at
anybody?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that's what you
just
talked
retaining
about.
it. Yeah. What are
Yeah,
you fighting for? So
Right.
it's the loss that's so important, because we talk about this all the time. A lot of people work their way up to climb that mountain. They win, and then what happens? When they lose the belt, they never regain the belt. They lose it, but never regain it. If you look throughout fighting history, very few people have reclaimed the belt after they lost it.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey never got it back.
Yeah, I think because they just, even they lost a whole lot more in their belt, right? It's just
It's
like
the
the
mental side.
motivation. Yeah, the
Yep.
motivation,
The sense of
the
invincibility,
desire. It's
right?
like I made it, right? You know what I'm saying? Then
They exhaled.
when you
Yep.
get rocked and you lose, it's like, okay, do I really want to do this? I got money in the bank.
You know,
I can go do it. You know what I'm saying? It's those types of things, and that's why you talked about boxing. I'm a big boxing fan, but I don't even count. Hey, I mean Floyd's a hell of a boxer. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but
Best defensive
we're
fighter
not.
ever.
Yeah, best defensive fighter hands down, and Pernell Whitaker's in that conversation.
Yep.
But when you look at people, they Joan on Roy Jones all the time, right? Everybody, because at the end of his career, he would just get knocked out. But I'm like, dude, do you realize to go from where Roy was to go all the way up to heavyweight and outclass and outbox and win? People are like, oh, well, he didn't fight anybody. The guy he beat was a bum. I'm like, do you understand the weight differential in heavyweight? I'm like, if you've never trained boxing, I mean, I just did it just to stay in shape. Hey, it's hell on your body to go through. I mean, you just sparred a couple rounds. I'm gassed.
Gas. Yeah. No, dude. I did it in high school. Dude, I literally, dude, I did. I think we did two. It was 2 or 3 rounds. I want to say 2 rounds. And I will never forget this, man. I looked over at my man like, this is, you said 3 minutes a round, right? No, this is no lie.
The longest 3 minutes.
The longest 3 minutes, dude. For anybody out there who's ever boxed, and I do mean anybody, I want you guys to tell you in the comments section. Tell me those aren't the longest 3 minutes, like in any sport, anything you do in life. Like 3 minutes, but look, I would rather run wind sprints.
Exactly.
Wind sprints goes quicker than that. Like in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, there's no way this round is still going.
Yep.
Even if you're just
that's why I'm like,
sparring.
people. Exactly. You're just
Even
sparring.
you're like how that because I literally looked over at my man like, bro, like I've thrown a lot of punches. I've taken some. I've hit some. Like I'm sitting looking like, it's still going on. Like still. And so the crazy thing is though is that now, Black, what do you think? What do you think it takes to return and win? What do you think about that Nunes did? Like she chased that excellence of like she lost her swagger, right? She came in there complacent. What do you think about the mettle and the grit it takes for somebody to get in there and to climb the mountain again and win the belt, reclaim it?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the mental fortitude, right? I mean, you gotta be cut from a different cloth to lose, then look at yourself and say, okay, we're gonna start with me. Like, where are my flaws? Where did I mess up? Right within there, and then what do I need to do to correct? for this next fight or whatever it is, next game. That's where you see the separation, right, between, like I said, the mediocrity and excellence. Right? Because she, again, Nunes had no other motivation beyond that. I mean, people still widely regard her as the GOAT of women, of UFC fighters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just based on her resume, who she's beat, all that, her reign. So she has every reason to just say, I'm done. But when you have, again, this kind of mental fortitude, this something different in you, right? Like you're just built different, like you're wired different. I think she's one of those people, right? It just says, okay, I took this L, but that's not gonna be who I am. I don't care what other people say about my legacy. It's about what I want, and I think that's a separator, right, between those people that on the excellence path.
Well, here's the thing though. We talk about the Rousey thing, right? And let's look at the difference between Nunes and Rousey when it came to trying to regain their belt. One of the key differences is, for those people who don't remember, Ronda Rousey lost her belt in Australia to Holly Holm, a fight that I said she was going to lose. She was undefeated at the time, and I say she's going to lose to the preacher's daughter. And people looked at me like I was crazy. I said, no. I go, Holly Holm is a counter to what Ronda Rousey wants to do. And Ronda Rousey, her mother predicted this and said, yo, her trainer has not basically added dimensions to her game. So Ronda was basically a one-trick pony, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absorb, step forward, and then get in the clinch, and then go ahead and try to go for most likely an arm bar, right? Use her judica. The problem with this is that, as you know, Black, when you lose, the question is, what do you do after the loss? Ronda didn't fight for, was it 13 months?
Yeah, long layoff.
Here's the thing. No warm-up fight, right? She literally went from losing to Holly Holm, right? Nothing in between, right? She didn't fight anybody. And then her next fight was for the title against Amanda Nunes, right? Who's an even harder counter to what she wants to do, right?
Right.
And I'm sitting there looking like, wait a minute. If I'm your trainer, I'm your promoter, and I'm out here doing things in the background, I really just put my fighter out there in these conditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, mentally, the last time that she stepped foot in this octagon, the last time that she went through the paces, she lost. That's mentally damaging to anybody, right?
Yep.
That's why they always want you to fight other people before you go back to get that title fight.
Right. Because you want to have that taste of success again, your confidence, get that back. Because, confidence is everything. I don't care what sport you're playing. I don't care what you're playing, dog. If your confidence is shot, then you don't have belief in what you're doing. And when you don't have that belief, you obviously you're not as fast, right? Whether you're playing sports, boxing, or whatever, it has a direct effect on everything. If your confidence is shaky, the other thing, your opponent sees it. That's the thing about it. That's how you get caught.
Oh, absolutely. Here's the thing, though. We talk about the path that you got to take, right? The need to be excellent. And we talk about overcoming setbacks, right? And, Black, you're a father, I'm a father. Like, what do you tell your boys about overcoming setbacks, right?
Oh, yeah, we talk about that all the time. Even down to my youngest, man. I'm like, look, okay, running basketball, right? These dudes got smashed. When you get wrecked, by 30. You get wrecked by 30 in basketball. You come home, it's a quiet ride home.
Real quiet.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, nobody wants to say anything. And I'm just like, I don't even want to talk about this tonight. But one of the things I talked to him about was like, hey, man, listen. I don't care who you are, the greatest in the game. Everybody's going to take an ass whooping. At some point.
Yep.
Everybody's going to take one. Now, it's varying degrees and how many you end up taking. There's definitely that. But understand that it's a part of the game. And I always ask them, all right, how do you feel you played? Because I don't jump on them immediately and tell them this is what you did wrong. This is where you suck. I ask them, okay, how did you feel you played? So I get their opinions back on what they saw, on what they think they did. And most times, the next question is, okay, would you feel like you gave it out? Did you everything you had? Right? Do you feel like, and that's particularly for my oldest, right? Do you feel like you gave everything you had on the field, on the court, or what have you, whatever he's playing? And if there's any kind of hesitancy in the voice, then I already know he's lying,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm like, look, dude, I'm sorry, but in sports, particularly if you want to be great, I hate to tell you this, but you're gonna have to put your heart on the line. You got to put it all on the line, right? And the shit hurts, like when you lose and all that, but it doesn't bother you, right? It becomes a problem when you're taking L's or things aren't going your way. You're just kind of nonchalant about it, like hey. I mean, you hear like greats, you hear Shaq and company talking about, hey, they took an L, like we lost sorry, and the Grizzlies or whatever. Hey, tearing the house up.
Yep.
Come home because that's how hard you're taking that because your bar, your standard.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
Well, I mean, and that's one of the things that I think is happening now is that what's starting to happen is that we're moving away from excellence because there is no standard, right? If you have no standard, then like the only thing you can do is like basically look for some oppressor or look for a reason why things are unfair and not going your way. You see what I'm saying? So what you'll do instead is you'll go like this. Oh, man, we lost because the rules are biased. How are the rules biased when both people are playing with the same rules, right? What kind of shit? I want you to think about
fucking referees.
Losers mentality.
Fucking referees.
Yeah, it's like,
Goddamn referees.
like-
Well,
like-
in boxing,
losers
boxing in
mentality.
particular.
Well, boxing
Black-
can get out of hand. Yeah,
Black,
you get bad
you
judges. If you get bad judges.
that the corruption in boxing.
No,
Well,
it's
you know though.
ridiculous.
Here's the thing though.
Oh, that happened this weekend. That happened on one of the fights.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
that
Lewis
was
fight.
Oh yeah.
The ref
Dude.
stop. Here's the thing though. I would rather see a ref stop a fight too early than to get hosed by the judges, right? Because a ref stopping too early is purely a heat of the moment subjective, right? Like, did he stop that too early, or did you see what I'm saying? Like you can always make a case either way with that, right?
Yep.
But if you see a dude go out there and just get laid out, and you're like, oh yeah, man, he won this fight. This is gonna be a unanimous decision, and still everyone's looking like, wait, what? Like what happened? Okay, if you see somebody, like I said, the most egregious fight I ever saw, at least in modern history, was when GSP beat Johnny Hendricks, right? GSP got his ass whooped the entire fight. Look, by my scorecard, if I remember right, he may have won 1 round out of 5, maybe, right? And I'm talking, he was soundly beaten, right? And it's the reason why, our man Marvin Hagler actually left boxing. He left boxing because of the crushing judge's decisions that he lost. He was like, I'm dumb. I lost my passion.
Yeah.
Like because if you laid it all on the line, because it's like, if you ask any fighter, they know if they won the fight. They know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I landed more shots. I landed better shots. He got some in. I dominated each round. I feel that there, maybe 1 or 2 of those rounds were 50-50, but I know I won these rounds. If you can say that, you're like, oh, I should win. And when you lose, and they start, you remember there was a judge, I think, that was reprimanded. I want to say it was after a Mayweather fight, right? It was a female.
Oh, yeah.
She got reprimanded because her score was so egregious. People look like, wait, what? They literally said, I don't believe she watched the same fight. It was that egregious, right?
Well, Pacquiao and Tim Bradley was like that. When they fought, that was a terrible. Yeah,
listen,
Tim Bradley did not even come close to winning this fight.
Not even close. Like, do you know how you know it's a bad decision? When they show the crowd and everyone, like, it takes them a while to boo because they have to process what just happened, right? So they look around like, did I get that shit right? Like,
I know.
What did they just say? Like, when you see someone do that face,
Yeah, they're too stunned to even boo.
they aren't booing, they aren't screaming. They literally are so stunned. They just look around in disbelief, like, what?
What? Well, and you said too, the fighter usually knows if they won or lost.
Fighters
right?
know, man.
So when
Fighters
the ref
know.
has to lift up the arm, right? Because usually the ref doesn't have to lift the guy's arm up. He puts his arms up.
Yep.
He knows he won, right?
No. You know what though? That was the GSP fight. I remember that fight like it was yesterday because I saw it at B-Dubs.
Hendricks went to pull up his arms, and then the ref put up GSP's arm, and
Yeah.
GSP was more shocked than anyone else in the
Yeah,
arena.
he just kind of, and I think he did make a remark that I think GSP even kind of basically said, like, "Yo, I did not win this fight." Like,
Well, you
it's
just
like,
look at the picture, right?
Yeah, no one wants to be a winner in life when they know it was unjustified. Because a true competitor, and I think this goes back to what is missing from sports now is integrity. If I were in GSP shoes, I would have declined the belt. No, I don't care. Like, I don't care if the judges scored it for me. I lost this fight. Like, I'm man enough to say I lost the fight, right? And this is the problem I have though, right? Is that when you see these things unfold and people are all looking around like, wait a minute, man, how is mediocrity or failure being rewarded as excellence? Because, you guys know I watch, like, when it comes, like, video games, I've watched Tekken tournaments. I've watched Smash Bros. They got multiverse and stuff. You like things to be decided, right? Because, like, the game basically forces you to either win or lose, right? And yeah, things can, there's some cheap things that can happen, but at least you can say, hey, man, I went out there, I did my best. Either I won or I lost. There are no draws. Exactly. When you start getting into the human element, man, this is the reason why the human element and the human condition, I think, rubs a lot of people the wrong way, because they're like, wait a minute, man, this is what should have happened. This is the result I expected. And I feel like I was robbed. Now, I've got to say this, though, Black. Even, as we talk about both excellence and brotherhood, right, which is the flip side of the coin in this episode, the way that we even watched this was a shout out to our man, a hidden figure who may or may not have a name of a king of the Koopas from Mario Brothers, who gave the Discord link. And, let me ask you this, though, Black. Even if your mic is muted, what do you think about just the very nature of engaging with people who share the same, whether it be beliefs or interests? And people are sharing links. They want to, live stream stuff. People just want to see something and kind of come into their own little forum, right? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, man, first of all, I mean, you kind of see like the community of, like, particularly with a fight. Like,
Yep.
I'll just start with that. Like, when there's a big fight that goes down, hey, man, we're gonna get together. Hey, I'm gonna order the fight. Hey, you bring, whatever, the food, the alcohol, whatever we're gonna have. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, all of this is like, generate some camaraderie and people, like, getting hype and excited, because it is exciting, right? You get a big marquee fight in particular, it's gonna bring a lot of eyeballs, but then you're gonna bring a lot of people, and sometimes some people that may not be as interested in the sport, right? But they just want to be a part of it. Right.
Yeah.
They want to be a part of what that is. That was kind of like when we did the trilogy of Fury Wilder, right? When they were going at it, and I'm like, dude, but the other key component to that is to keep people, keep your engagement and coming back, like the Nunes and fight, is it's got to deliver, right? It's got to deliver on the height of what it is. And all that's going to do now is just fuel it for, hey, I'm ready for the next one.
Yep.
Right. When that's going down. So when that comes together, that just enhances the thing about, a brotherhood and a community when they deliver on the other end. It's like, man, that was a hell of a fight. You feel like you got your money's worth out of it.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's actually the very nature of how the Super Bowl changed. I believe in some ways for the worse. Because they made it much more appealing to the casual viewer, right? Especially women. Because people forget. For those of you who don't know, the Super Bowl used to basically be a male-only space. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but just like Fight Night used to be a male. You remember? So Black, remember when we were growing up? Fight Night was literally, if there were women around, they were literally in a separate room, not actually watching the fight.
Correct.
They were literally this is for all you young bucks who don't know this. Fight Night back in the old days, the women were in one side of the house talking about women's stuff, and the dudes were all about Fight Night. That's only if women were there at all. Usually, dudes said, "Yo, I'm leaving to go watch the fight."
Right.
Because usually, like you said, one guy orders the fight, and then all the other bros pitch in a little cash because, yo, man, our man Johnny went ahead and ordered the fight. let's all pitch in $5 or $10, or like you said, we're gonna bring food, snacks. So everybody, it was a community. See, this is what is missing now, right? And this is the reason why, as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of like all the internet stuff, because you can't emulate any of this on the internet, right? Don't get me wrong. It's still cool when someone streams a fight and you just click on it and everyone gets to see it and you have a live chat. That's still cool, but nothing can ever match. We're all in the same place together and we're sharing this moment and we're making comments. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey man, watch my drink. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
All those little nuances, that stuff meant something to add into that brotherhood of, like I said, because male spaces have been so corrupted or just outright destroyed. And here's the thing. And you look around now, dudes are out here asking for permission. Babe, is it okay if I have a person or two over to watch? Oh my God, this bitch may sin. Look, you don't ask women if you can have people over for a fight. The fight goes down, just like poker night, right?
Hey, babe, some guys are coming over. Make sure the beer's cold.
Yeah, make sure the beer's cold. There you go. Yeah, you don't ask her. You tell her. You tell her this is what's going down. I got guys coming. Now, if you don't like it, it's okay if you don't like that. You can just leave or go to sleep or go outside or go into a different part of the house. This is what's going down because, like I said, you know this, Black. There's a whole lot of women that have no problem. They tell men they're going to have their cackling hen friends come over, right, for something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? They don't ask things like this. Oh, and they list all the ladies, right? Sally, Jessica, Tamika. They start naming off all these chicks that are going to come over for something, right?
Book club.
Book club, sex toy parties. Dudes go like this. Oh, word. And he has to now think to himself, do I want to be around for this shit or can I just... Because a guy...
I'm just going to lock myself in the garage.
Yeah, dudes have no problem leaving.
Something on the car needs fixing. I'm sure I'll find it.
Fixing. I'll find something. I'll go to a movie. I'll go hang out with a buddy. I'll go to the bar. Like, dudes have no problem. And sometimes a guy may go like this. This is a good thing. They're going to be upstairs laughing. You already know what happens, Black. He puts the gaming headphones on.
Yep.
And he goes like this.
There it is.
And he's totally content. He doesn't care how long these women are at the house. And when he passes them while they're going, acting crazy, he's like this. Grabs a drink and goes right back. He goes right back.
Can I tangent very quickly for you?
Go ahead.
Did you hear about the Women's Tour de France?
Oh, I did. I saw the crash, the pile up. I saw the pile up. They're useless. Look how useless they are.
Christ.
Just useless.
For the people listening to the audio portion, there was a huge pile up that just completely blocked the road. Every cyclist Drex, describe this scene for me because I don't have words that work here. It's like I'm watching a cartoon where fucking Cody's chasing Roadrunner and smashes into a fake tunnel.
Well, I'll tell you what this looks like. Although I see more pink than any other color, for anyone who saw the Joe Biden fall over, because Joe Biden's less than useless. So imagine the Joe Biden video where he falls over off the bike. Joe Biden is basically a woman because that's what Megan Rapinoe looks like. So imagine a bunch of Megan Rapinoes piled up. This is a lot of bikes. How many bikes do you think this is? That looks like about at least 150? 100? That's a lot of bikes. That's about, I want to say 60 to 70 in this picture.
Yeah, you don't.
That's about 60 to 70 bikes in this frame. A massive. I want you guys seriously. For those of you who don't know, man, look up this women's. Can people just start acknowledging how useless they are, rather than trying to beat around the bush and no, Drex? Those things happen. This is the first time ever. Look, this is basically the WNBA in a nutshell. Is that image right there? Right? Just useless.
Yeah.
They're just useless.
This is what happens when women invade male spaces. Hilarity ensues. You know what, Drex? I encourage it. Please.
Yeah, women's football. They got lingerie. Look, here's the thing. People need to just acknowledge how useless they are, right? Each and every day. Like every time that they get ready to say something about equal pay or women can do it too, like this. Okay. Oh. There's tiers, right? Men are excellent. Men are made in God's image. Here's where you guys are. You're right next to children. Okay? You can't actually be excellent. Now, can you be... Because here's the thing. Black, you know this. They can be good for a woman, right? Because you and I both know when shit hits the fan, war in Ukraine.
That's
You
not
see what I'm
enough,
saying?
Drexel.
Like,
It's not enough.
if they just were, if they were okay with their level, like, here's the thing. I want you to think about this for a second. I want you guys to think about children. Children don't step out of their lane, right? Have you ever heard a child say they want to play against adults? Never, right?
Or do something they know they're bad at.
Yeah, do something they know they're bad at. Like no, Dad,
Like, you
I can
can't
fly the
swim.
airplane.
You can't swim. Hey, let's go swimming.
Yeah,
Dad, can we go swimming?
let's go swimming. It's like,
Wait,
but you can't swim though.
You can't swim.
No, Dad, I'm gonna fight a lion with my bare hands, but I'm 6 years old. Like, no, you'll get killed. See, kids don't try to say, Dad, I can one up you, or I can do. No. They just go like this. Oh, I'm a kid. I'm in the kid lane, and that's why age is so important as a child, right? 11U, 12U, 13U.
Yep.
Shout out to the 15U boys in Dallas who annihilated the women's national soccer team, who don't deserve any pay. They shouldn't even be paid. They should literally be crowdfunded because they're useless. If you lose to boys who just hit puberty, you aren't excellent, okay? You are less than useless. You don't even deserve $1, right? Now, see, this is how men
Speaking
need to
of
start
equal
speaking.
pay,
But you know what, Drex, with all the simps out there, if the women's soccer team did a GoFundMe, it would hit millions of
It
dollars.
probably would. And then nobody would show up at the game, though, right? They would virtue signal, give $1.
Yeah,
And then the game
I will.
time-
I will literally. I care less about this $50 than appearing to think that, a women can do anything a man can do. Drex.
These
what,
simps.
if you watch the games, I mean, it's on Zoom cam. I mean, the camera never goes above the first level because there's
Never.
nobody else watching it.
No,
But there's nobody else there. So this is the thing. You talk about equal pay. So what do you think about, like, when you say equal pay? I laugh and I think about tennis. So you mean to tell me
Fewer sets.
that in majors they get equal pay for half the work. So
That sounds right.
Men play 5 sets. And it used to be brutal, but until they came out with the tiebreakers. Right,
Yep.
where you first, whatever it is now, the 10 or whatever it is now wins. Because remember, they used to have marathons.
Marathons.
Fifth-
Yeah. You
fifth
had
sets.
to. So when you went to 40, then you went to advantage. Like you had the outright win. Like they didn't do this points.
Yeah, you had to win by
outright
two. You just kept going.
Yeah,
You just kept going.
indefinitely. You went. So you be sitting there like, bro, they've been playing tennis for 6 hours, fam. The same game.
6 hours. Drex, I think the world record is like 2 days.
Yeah, dude, forever. You just keep going. And I'm
You
sitting there
got
looking
cats
like
out here cramping all in the middle. Of the night.
cramping.
And then
Dudes just
you
look
got-
gassed.
Yep, but 3 sets.
3 sets.
3 sets
Oh yeah,
and
no,
go
hold
home.
on. Best of 3. So
Yeah,
you can
best
really
of
win in
3.
2. You can win in
Yep.
2. They're useless.
Koopa brings up a
I'm
good
like-
point here because Drex, they know.
Oh yeah,
Women
they know.
know
Yeah, shout out to
this.
Bill Burr for roasting these feminazis. And here's the thing though, is that the flip side to the feminazi movement and all the push for all the diversity in sports is that we look at, like I said, this Discord where we went ahead and we had we're streaming the video or whatever, right? We're making connections to help build something, right? Guys are always trying to build connections, right? Like, yo, man, what part of the world are you in? Hey, what about this? Hey, man, where should I eat when I go to your neck of the woods? You see what I'm saying? It's always about building something. Hey, man, when I get there, let me buy you a drink. Do you notice that it's always something that involves community, about connection? You ever notice that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have that in terms of you're building your own brotherhood around that. I mean, it's just a part of it, right? It's innate, I think, in real men anyway, when it pertains to that, right? Just like, hey, dude, man, my bro's coming into town. Hey, I got, let me know. I got, spots for you to check out, whatever, right? That's just part of it, right? Just kind of a thing to do versus, you got some of the total opposite going on, like you said, with oh God, when you get into betas and simps and all this other stuff, man, it just gets to a point now where it's just all this stuff about me and feeling sorry for me and I need this extra attention and all this other nonsense, right? That goes along with that, and like it's none of that where dudes just be dudes. Like you said, our safe space and stuff like that
Mhm.
that's linked to sports has slowly been eroding away, right? Because it's like we all need to be inclusive. We all got to have this. I'm like, no, it's okay to have our own space. We were better off, right, when it came to stuff like that. Because I mean, you can't do some of the same. You can't crack some of the same jokes. You can't do whatever because you're worried about what's gonna happen. Oh well, hey, she was in the room when I made this joke. Oh, next thing you know, your ass is on the line for something. You're like, man, what happened? You're like,
Well,
we
the
used to be
problem though,
able to
Black, is
joke
that it's a
around.
double standard, right? Because one group gets to just say and do whatever, and this is the thing. We have to put forward what we used to do, right? You're talking about, the spaces were separate, which was cool, right? We have to start basically saying what is masculine excellence versus what is feminine excellence, right? So there needs to be more encouragement to our sons and our daughters, right? Saying, hey, we're going to encourage boys will be boys. And then when someone goes,
Yep.
well, Drex, what about girls? Girls will be girls. No, we don't promote girls will be girls, especially in the current culture. So, Drex,
Right.
what do you promote? Girls be good wives. See the difference? Because Black, you and I both, we've talked about this, right? You talk about your homeboys out there, like, he's out in Atlanta, seeing, basically the collapse of civilization, right? And if you were to ask yourself this question, if these girls followed a tenet, right? A paradigm that said girls are going to make good wives, and they just went along this good wife path, right? Would you agree they'd be happier in the long run?
The crew today.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying is that all these girls and young women growing up, if rather than listening to the narrative, right? If
Yeah.
rather than doing that, we talk about how boys will be boys, right? Because that's what we want to push
Right.
for the boys is masculine excellence. Feminine excellence is being a great wife and mother. Now,
Yeah.
there's gonna be people out there that want, oh my God, Drex, but you said X, Y, Z. I said, look, I just talk about how the world is. I'm saying if you
Yep.
want to ask me what is best for them,
Yep.
it's because if you're a great wife material, guess what? You're probably gonna be a great mother material, right? Yeah, like how you a great wife, but you're a bad mother, right? Like the skills that makes you a good wife makes you a good mother.
Yeah, they
By
typically
doing that,
translate.
you are happy.
And shout out to
Yeah.
the women that actually seek that behavior, that mannerism, and that
Yep.
advice. Like Anna.
Yeah,
Shout out to Anna.
yeah. You never. And here's the thing though, Black. I was talking to our man Lex about this, right? He was talking about how he was like, yeah, God forbid anything ever happened, and Miss Lex and I broke up. He goes, I've been too spoiled now, right? His standard is now too high. He's with a woman who was a virgin, right? When do you find those anymore, right?
Man.
Oh, don't forget, Black. She can cook, right? Latina, she can cook.
Still married
There
a
are so
unicorn.
few women that can cook now, Black. You know this. Most chicks, when it comes time to Tim, Daddy, I'm hungry. Let's go get some food. Wait, what do you mean? Let's go get some food. Or are you paying? No, you. So let me get this straight. You don't cook. You want me to go take you to go eat and spend my money.
Oh, but Drex, I can't take her to like In and Out.
Oh yeah. No. I want to eat some high class food. It's like, wait, let me get this straight.
She wants a $180 steak at the Calgary
Yeah,
Tower.
filet mignon. Yeah, I want to go to Ruth's Chris. It's like, wait a minute now. Hold up. So
that's not a marriage. I mean, at that point, that's just legalized prostitution.
it is. Yeah, it's an exchange, right? That's just some
Yeah,
going ahead.
dude.
That's a pure
That's all it
exchange.
is.
Like here's the thing. That's not excellent, and it's not good for anybody because let's face it. When we talk about boys will be boys, they're gonna crave taking care of quality women, not simping for hoes.
There you
'Cause
go.
Like simping is not this is what people don't understand. That's actually not a natural thing. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
look, watch this. If a boy goes to school, right? He's a young boy. He doesn't know anything. He's not red pill or nothing. He just walks to school. That boy is going to show more affection and more privilege to a girl that he views as worthy. But if you told him, hey, I want you to be nice to that, fat, ugly girl who's mean to you and flicks spitballs at you, he'd be like, why would I do that? But Black, the modern married man is basically saying that, right? She's overweight. She looks hideous. She's mean to him, emasculates him. Yes, queen, here's the credit card. He's just
something?
beaten down.
I the future generation is actually in a lot better shape than perhaps we give it credit for, because Drex, all
these boys are
these
getting
kids,
savage. These boys are getting savage now. I
They
will give them
know
that.
what a simp is.
Yeah.
And they say it's a bad thing, right? They understand simp is an insult.
Oh, absolutely. Well, here's the thing, though. As many of them that are like that, there's still tons of them being born to ratchet single moms who are being indoctrinated, who are out here getting their genitals clipped off. I mean, Black, you and I have talked about some of this stuff, and we've also talked about the fact that, like, we have to start maintaining excellence, right? Through gatekeeping, right?
Absolutely.
When someone goes, Drex, what are you gatekeeping? No, fuck that. We need to start gatekeeping IPs, right? All the intellectual properties that mean something to you, we're going to gatekeep, right? We're going to be unapologetic about it. And we're going to gatekeep, and we're going to be real about when it comes to our trust funds, maintaining our children, maintaining our families, the family unit.
Yep.
Because, Black, let's go down the line of everything that has been ruined, right? Because we didn't maintain excellence in gatekeeping. Let's go down the line. You heard about GTA 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go with that. I don't really think. So put it like this. GTA, first of all, has gone down just a different path altogether, right?
I heard about that.
It's just been a slow and steady decline, right? Into, with just the overall experience. Now, I don't really feel like I think it's, a victim of just society, culture, and all this other stuff, right? Of, hey, well, what things we did before, now we got to make sure we kind of tweak this to appease this audience and so forth. So I just think overall it's just not a quality product anymore.
Well, let's face it, this is what people don't understand, man. I've talked about this on numerous occasions, is that, and Tim and I have talked about this when it comes to, like I said, quality women are being left out in the cold going forward because of the actions of bad women of the past. Likewise, guess what's going to happen in the future, Black? When you have a game and you try to have like a black protagonist or a female protagonist or just anything other than a white guy, people are going to just assume it's woke, right? Oh, this shit's woke. In reality, it could not be woke, right? Because back in the day, no one cared that you had a female protagonist. And do you know why they didn't care? Because you didn't announce it, right?
There you go.
Here's the thing. Watch this. Hey, Black, let's go down the line. Okay, let's look at modern day GTA, right? We're talking, it started off as a top down game. Let's start with GTA 3, right?
Yep.
Let's look at your main character, right? Who's your main character in GTA 3? Playing Italian, right?
We failed the quiz.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I don't even play
that.
GTA. I don't actually play Grand Theft Auto, but I'm aware that if I recall, you play like an Italian dude. It's like mafioso, and then there's Vice City, right?
Vice City. Yeah,
the next game, people forget.
I think I quit after Vice City.
Oh, after Vice City, because
I think
the one that
last
everyone
GTA.
Well, the one that I've heard is the best. Like I said, I don't play GTA at all, so correct me if I'm wrong. But from multiple people, right? Lots of people that play GTA. When you ask them what is their favorite, it's the third one. It's or I should say the third one. It's going down the line. It's GTA San Andreas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I've heard multiple people say that. When you ask a lot of people, yo, man, what's your favorite Grand Theft Auto? They like, Tim, they don't even hesitate. San Andreas. And I'm like, what?
I think you can still find people playing it still. Like they play modded, emulated versions.
Oh, I bet. And when you ask them, okay, hold on. So, Tim, what we've been told by the media is everyone is a racist, right? Hold on. That doesn't add up to the narrative, right? So how come so many guys, whether they're white or otherwise, loved GTA San Andreas, right? If you play as a black dude. What was it about that game? Because the world, and guess what they didn't do at that time, Tim? They didn't announce that, hey, you're playing as a black guy. Hey, you guys, we're being more inclusive. See, they're not
so
saying
stunning and brave.
We're stunning and brave.
You know what, Drex? Literally at one of those meetings, they're all wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men, right? They're like, we're so inclusive.
Yeah, just like these used auto shops, right? And this is the crazy thing, is that Black, you and I have talked about this in the movies that we used to watch. we never cared about none of it because as long as you don't announce it, if you just like this, this is what it is. When you just say this is what it is, like this is the product, here it is, no one cares. They only care when you start preaching to them. We stopped caring about excellence because we started caring about some fucking feelings, right? Mm-hmm. When you gatekeep, you care about meritocracy and the high quality of the product. Star Wars is now woke. Oh, what is that? Cooper said, funniest thing about GTA San Andreas is the first mission as the black protagonist. You have to steal a bike. What did your guy's name is what? CJ, right? I think CJ is his name. Yeah, GTA 3, from what I've heard, has like all the memes. That's where all the memes come from.
Oh yeah.
No, that's shit, that's. Here we go again.
Isn't that where the hot coffee mod comes from too?
Is it?
I think. Is it?
I know there's a lot of memes that come. What is it? Something about the cheeseburgers. Yeah, like there's like a fat black sidekick dude.
Or
there's
even
something
just
about the cheeseburgers.
The wasted.
Yeah.
The wasted meme, right?
Yep. A lot of the memes come from that game. And it's like, but here's the thing though. You didn't care because it wasn't preached. Because the thing, Rockstar at that point cared about making an excellent game. You see? Not an excellent game starring a black guy or a woman or a white guy. They just like this. Hey, guess what, Tim? We want to create this story, right? Because let's face it, the heart of GTA, this is obviously, like I said, you guys, I've never played through a GTA game. I'm just saying from the outside looking in. The heart of a GTA game is the story that your protagonist has, and you're working your way up doing these tasks, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the core element, guess what? Guess who doesn't really fit that very well, Black? It's women. GTA is the masculine journey, right? Scarface is a masculine journey. It's not feminine.
Oh, speaking of that, of masculine journeys. If I know you're not going to watch it because I know I'm not.
Uh-oh.
You see how they're rewriting historical movies?
Oh, bro, they changed Robin Hood.
Oh, look, forget Robin Hood. Look at Prey.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. We're not Predator. We're Prey, an indigenous tribe. We got to talk about inclusion. Look, seriously, for those of you guys who don't know, the synopsis for Prey was so egregious, it was stripped from the internet. So the only way that you can find out what the original synopsis was is I think you would have to look up like new Predator Yellow Flash, because he would read like the original article. It's literally wiped from the internet. It was because it was too woke, and they went, we gotta move some words around to not ruffle feathers.
Red Dead
2 was the last good story. I heard that.
That brings me into a point. Drex, how many women would understand why John Marston had trouble killing Dutch?
True, yeah.
Why he hesitated. How many women do you think would understand that?
They don't understand honor. They don't. Here's the thing: women don't actually understand equity.
Yeah.
So that's why they can do something on a whim, like friend or foe. Just on a whim, I did this.
So John Marston's got the gun in his hand, right? He's got Dutch on the edge of the cliff. Okay, my son Jack, or my mentor, Dutch Vanderwall.
Yep.
Or was it Vanderlyn? Sorry, Vanderlyn, not Vanderwall. What the fuck? Sorry, Vanderlyn. Wrong name, but yeah, they can't see that conflict. They're like, oh no, I'll just shoot the guy. He meant nothing to me. He doesn't mean anything to me right now, therefore he meant nothing to me.
That means he meant nothing, right? Yeah, easy choice.
So
you see that a lot, though. A lot of dudes struggle with those kind of choices. And let's face it, those are the choices that really nail home the masculine journey, right? Like, because there's always a sacrifice going on and a compromise going on in the soul of a man. And that's the reason why, let's face it. If you show men and women the first John Wick movie, right? After they kill the dog and wreck his car. Black, we all remember the infamous scene from the original, right? When he calls John Leguizamo's character, right? First of all, women wouldn't even allow that. The fact that like, oh my God, someone beat up my son, but I need to go yeet them, right? Whereas dudes go like this. Dudes, because you built equity in that relationship, Vigo needed an explanation as to why he punched his son, right? He wants to know what happened. He's like, if you were anyone else, I would just come and yeet you. However, because we have history, I'm going to give you a chance to explain. So when he calls him, he goes like this. Yes. He says, my son says you struck him. And then what was his reaction? John Leguizamo looks, he goes, yeah, I did. He goes, why? He says, because he wrecked John Wick's car and killed his dog.
Kill my dog. Yeah.
The look on Vigo's face, my man went like this. Oh. And hung up the phone.
Yeah.
Every single dude understands exactly what went through his mind because he's thinking to himself, yeah, see, Vigo knew it's over. John Wick is coming now. Like,
Yeah.
Bro, you literally just caused his thing. Here's the sad thing, though. We actually feel for Vigo because all Vigo has to do to stop all of John Wick's carnage is go like this. I got to offer up my son, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are going to wind up dead unless all Vigo had to do to avoid all of the movie is go like this. Yeah, John Wick, I know the rules of the game. My son was out of line. You could have him, right? Like, and just wipe my hands clean. But he doesn't do that because why? Because it's his son. As a father, even when your son does wrong, you saw this same scene happen in Troy. Do you remember in Troy when the bet that they put on it was that whoever won between Menelaus and Paris, remember? Like, yeah, you get to kill him, right? And Hector intervenes. And Agamemnon's like, "Oh, that's an act of war." He's like, "I'm not going to sit here and just let you kill my brother right in front of me." You see what I'm saying? Even though he agreed to it, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to just sit here, bro." Like, you're asking somebody to just sit here, like, "Yeah, I'm just going to sit here and just watch you kill my brother." Like, no, he's not going to allow that. But women were just like, "Yeah, sure." He served his purpose. He agreed to it. Yeah. It's like, yeah, like where's a dude with something like, "All right, look, man,
He learned.
He learned. Helen goes back with you. We're going to reprimand my brother for getting us into this mess. But you won the fight. You clearly are the better fighter. He stands no chance. Let that be that, and we go on our separate ways.
And you took your pound of flesh.
And you took your pound of flesh, right? It is what it is. But see, what happened now is that we're talking about feelings, not excellence, not brotherhood. There's no brother. Look, Black, we talk about this. There's no such thing as bros before hoes no more, man. That's gone. What people are doing now out here in the streets, you got dudes. Look, this is no lie, man. It's the dude closest to you smacking your chick from the back right now.
Oh, yeah.
You thought this was your brother. You're like, yo, hold up, bro. We went to grade school together.
There's no code.
We went to Iraq together.
We went to Iraq together. Yeah. We fought enemies. Dude, we dodged shrapnel, IEDs. We did it all together. And this is how you repay me, bro? Like this? There's no brotherhood? There's no loyalty?
Have you seen the movie Pearl Harbor?
Yep.
Can you break that relationship down for me? So, best friend Danny thinks that Raven's dead.
Yep.
And gets with his girl.
Yep.
Then he comes back alive.
Yep.
And Danny's like, oh, I fucked up.
Yep. I will say this, though. For those people who don't know, that's not betrayal and it's not simping. And here's why. Back in the day, there was an honor code amongst men that the only man who had access to, quote unquote, your woman, ironically, it was your next of kin, like your brother, right? Or it was your war buddy. Those are the only people who had access to your woman.
Who's basically your brother.
Who's basically your brother. So for those people out there who are confused by this, I'm like, he's not a simp. He's not a weirdo. He didn't break the code. Back in the day, that's a little, because if someone said, hey, Black, if you had a stroke or a heart attack, bam, you fall out dead. If someone goes, hey, who would you want to take care of your wife and kids? If you have to pick somebody, right?
Yeah,
it would be the person closest to you.
Right.
It's your closest male companion. You're like, yo, this is my brother. This is my, this is my road dog. This is the guy, I grew up with. Like, it's that guy. Because you're like this. He's the only one that I respect and trust. And, like, he's going to do right.
Don't get the guy with the baldo. Do not ask that guy to take care of your girl.
It's wild like that because here's the thing, though. We lost sight of that. And so what we're left with now is we're left with people that, like you said, they're going to be more about inclusion, right? They're going to look at it brotherhood. They're going to be like this. Well, let's just everyone can be a winner. Let's say everyone win. So everyone being a winner has gotten so bad now. Black, have you heard that Obi-Wan is supposed to be bisexual now?
Oh my God.
You hear about this bullshit?
All right, time for the outro. Good night, everyone.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedi Master Obi-Wan. We're going to explore his sexuality in season 2. And once again,
the guy with the Padawans, I don't really want explored. I don't want his sexuality explored, I'm okay with that. I don't need to know.
You know what's crazy? Do you know what was never discussed in Star Wars, literally not even once, when George Lucas was the writer? Was sexuality. The only
Never.
sexuality you ever saw, and this is no lie, in all of Star Wars is Anakin and Padme. That's literally it.
And even then, it was implied.
Yeah. You didn't see anything, but
Yeah,
here's the thing.
no.
It was the only time that it was the only interaction between characters. Let me rephrase that. Padme and Anakin, and also Leia and Han, right?
Han.
So it was
Leia and
heterosexual
Han,
relationships. And but here's the thing, though. They never talked about sex. You see what I'm saying?
Nope.
No,
They
they,
were
didn't
romantic.
get it. They didn't get into the Millennium Falcon and start giggling at each other. It's like,
Yeah.
like what
They
he
didn't
just
do
did.
none of that. They didn't do none of that. It was like this. It was like yes, it was all
That's
implied.
good.
It's
good
writing.
character development.
It's good
right?
character development. Like, you
'Cause
don't
it's
need
like
to sit here and yeah, let's talk about the actual act itself. No,
everyone saw how Anakin looked at Padme.
Yep.
The face, and you know, credit to the actor, right? I don't know the actor's name.
He's a Canadian, Hayden Christensen.
Yeah,
He's a Canuck.
Of course, all the good ones are. Hey, even Jim Carrey's Robotnik was Canadian.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. We give you, you know what, we do so much and we get no respect for it. We give you Pornhub. We give you August Ames
You gave us Bryan Adams
and Justin Bieber.
and Justin Bieber. No one can ever get the South Park joke.
But
The
you have
Canadian government has
Lizzo.
apologized for Bryan Adams on
Yep.
communications.
But you have Lizzo.
Yeah. We don't claim her. We don't claim.
Yeah,
We don't claim it.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds is Canadian. Yeah. Hayden Christensen. Credit to the actor for being able to emote properly.
Yep.
Because at no point did they ever make a outright, oh, these two are together. But you could tell the way that Hayden Christensen looked at Padme, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
there's something there.
versus It's so in your face now. Like they explain it as you go
Yeah.
along now.
Yep.
I mean, just like we went to see the last Thor movie.
Oh,
Why would
Drex.
you do that to yourself?
Oh my! Oh
wait. How did
my
you get
God.
talked into that? It must have been your son,
Yes.
the youngest.
He's like, no, the oldest one to go see it.
come
Uh-oh.
on.
Because he was like, Ragnarok was pretty decent. And then he's like, well, let's go see it. We go. I'm like, dude, I do not want to go see this Love and Thunder because I know it's about to be a train wreck.
I heard it
Yep.
was, man. It was some bullshit.
Dude, we were fine for about 30 minutes to an hour in the movie. And then we get to the Rock Man scene.
Oh, here it
And
goes.
I'm like, here it is. It's coming. And they just basically took a pile of shit and threw that on top and then grabbed another pile of shit and threw more of it on top of that. And then
They told you to
smashed
like it. Yeah, they told
then
you to like it.
smashed
Like, no, you're gonna like
it.
this.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, so you really had to go out of your way to go ahead and explain and talk about that. Brilliant. I'm like, yeah, I see
Well, I heard
why you're
Lightyear was
losing
just as
millions.
bad, man.
Yeah,
They
so I
had
see why
kids,
you're
like,
losing
really pulling out.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
Well, that shit is wild for a variety of reasons, right? Because here's the thing. You saw what they did to Lord of the Rings, right? This new Amazon show, they're going to ruin that, right?
Oh,
because
boy.
here's the thing. Tim, if you don't care about, because when someone asks you, Tim, what is excellence? At its core, all excellence is meritocracy. Because here's the thing. Identity politics is the polar opposite, right? You go like this. All right, here's a checklist. You see what I'm saying? We got to have this gay character. We need to have this. We need to have that. See, you no longer care about, is this a good story? Are these good characters? Like, because now, and this is something that, like I said, this is not speaking to all people under the rainbow flag, but too often their entire identity is just their sexuality, right? Mm-hmm. Like, bro, okay, yeah, you're gay, and
Yep.
look, Tim, Colonel Volgan was bisexual, right?
Yes.
No one cared because they didn't really highlight. It was just like
The nut grab
grab.
a snake was funny.
Yep. Oh, and don't forget, he makes the pun, right? He goes, "Who are you?" Right? Because he goes, "I know the major.
I know the major better than anyone else.
See, these are all these puns and all this. And they even made, they're obviously poking fun at Raiden from part 2, but like at the end of the day, though, because of the way it was handled, the audience doesn't get repulsed by it, right? It's like an in-joke for the fans. Like, a lot of people didn't like Raiden. They called him a little whiny bitch. So, of course, now you create a character who's a doppelganger of Raiden. And, of course, Volgan has relations with him, right?
And Drex, there's a secret radio call with Eva where Snake, the dunce he is, asks, Rykov is the rank of major, but the East Wing is colonel class only. How does he get in? And Eva's like, wait, you really don't know? Even after looking at that picture where the two are like staring into each other's eyes, right? She gives him a picture. And Snake's just like, no, I don't know. He was just like, did anyone, has anyone ever told you you're a little bit slow?
Well, you know what, though? That actually is a callback to Solid Snake in the original. Because in Metal Gear Solid, Snake doesn't know how to get into the bathroom, remember? And you remember, because he's like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, don't be so dense.
Yeah. There's only one place. There's only one place we can be assured she's alone.
Yep.
What place is that?
What place is that? He's so in his own world, like, and that's saying like we missed the great writing. Like when you hear about Robin Hood, Black, you saw what they did to Superman's son, right? They made him a fairy. They made Captain America fairy. Like everywhere you look, Batman. They're trying to ruin excellence. So this is what happens when you don't care about having a brotherhood that is bound by excellence. Like I said, everyone holds each other accountable. Like, yo, bro, we're here to make the best possible comic book or the best possible video game. Whatever it is you're creating, you're making it the best it can possibly be. The moment I hear people out here like inviting people in, I'm thinking, why are you inviting these people in? Now, Black, let's look at the flip side of this, though, right? We talk about brotherhood and people building up people on certain platforms. Shout out to Geeks and Gamers and all those guys and everybody at Matt Surrey, because the Rippaverse, which I'm sure you heard of Mr. Eric July, really popped off with that crowdfunding, right? He's like $2 million or something. What is that telling you?
There is demand.
Plus. There's demand for it.
Yes,
there's demand for entertainment that just doesn't tell you to swallow a narrative and be happy with it.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, I mean, just force feeding. That's all that's going on. If you look,
Yep.
If you look across, like in particular, I mean, it doesn't matter. You just pick it. DC, Marvel. There's just
the
like
MCU.
You just can't have the male be the lead within that, because we got to have a female counterpart to it. We got to have a female counter.
Every commercial. You just described every commercial. Drex, you ever watch the Super Bowl commercials?
It's got to be.
Yeah. And the guy has to be like a doofus, right? He's always an idiot. He's always stupid. He's always like bumbling.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at commercials, just think about all the commercials. I had a long talk with one of my family members about this. Look at the commercials and the force feeding and brainwashing and crap that's going on in the commercial. What do you see when you see HIV commercial?
It's always an effeminate black dude every single time. Every time. Not 80, 100%. So those of you who don't know, next time you guys are watching TV and there's a commercial about HIV pill that you pop for whatever, some kind of lowers your counts and cell, whatever, right? Notice who I'm not joking. It's gonna be an effeminate black every single time. Every single time.
Yep. And if you ever see, or you see a commercial where if there is a straight black guy in it, he's screaming, he's in a weak position, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's always going to be emasculated in some form.
Always.
And then turned into some form of comedy to try to disguise.
Well, he's the butt of the joke, right? He's always the butt of the joke.
Always. There's always something like, like you would know how to use a hammer.
Yeah, it's always something silly and ridiculous. And you're kind of looking like, wait a minute, what?
Drex, the guy fixing something in the house, right? The plumber commercials, right? And he's trying to fix the sink, and he sprays himself in the face. No, babe, I can fix this. And just tears the sink out, right?
It's just, look, here's what's crazy. That's not even how guys are. Like here's the thing. A lot of guys, if something is beyond their ability, they just go like this. No, that's cool. I'll just call the plumber. I'll call
I'll text my buddy. I text my buddy. He knows this stuff.
Yeah, because that goes back to the whole brotherhood. Look, I know guys that are contractors, this, that, and the other, and if I need to consult with them, I will just call. Like I said, there's a fallacy of the male ego, right? Like this whole think about it. Black, you remember the days when there used to be that whole saying that like men won't ask for directions? I didn't really see that very often.
Nope.
Usually what happens is they're like this, yo, man, I don't know where the hell we're at. I got to find out where we're going.
Yeah, like me a gas station. And over and ask somebody.
Yep. How did you ask for directions as a man? Hey, can you tell me where
Yeah.
This
You were
is.
asking for advice. You weren't sitting there
Yeah.
like, "Yo, man, I know what I'm doing. I just need you to confirm what I already know." Like people just they wouldn't have responded to you. So
I've seen women ask for directions before, and they're always like, "Well, I tried going down this road, and then it was a dead end, so I turned around, and then I got lost in this.
No,
then I got stuck on the ditch, and then someone pulled me out."
It's a story. Yeah, it's just like, oh, what do you need? And you're like, can you just get some part what you need? Like,
there's never any direct line. It's always a winding road to get to where we need to go.
Yeah. Okay, what is it that you really want?
How do I get to the gas station?
Yeah.
Oh, go down that road, turn left. If you hit the railroad tracks, you went too far.
This is why women need girlfriends. Like, for all the ladies out there, please go get female friends. I know that you guys can't have friends, but please go get them. Because here's the thing. I care about narratives. Like I said, when I look at, like, even like I said, when it comes to, like, the Rippaverse, white liberals' views of black excellence, this was all exposed, right? Because here's what you started hearing, Tim. Oh, black people have it rough with this, and oh, but God, they need this, they need that. So white liberals were pushing this narrative, right? That's what mainstream media says, right? But as soon as a black guy shows up and says, "Yo, I'm doing my own thing with my own money," it's gonna be called the Rippaverse. Who came after him? It was those same people who said they were allies.
White women, especially.
And
of course, they're white men simps.
They're simps. They're simps. Came after them too.
Let me correct myself. White male simps.
Yeah, right male simps. Yeah, and this is the thing. You go back and look at that, and you think to yourself, okay, hold up. What's the real problem here? The problem is it was a masculine black character. Because Black, you and I both know, had like an effeminate black dude who was under the rainbow agenda and all this, and all he did was like talk about like woke points, right? Like, yeet whitey and oppression. They would have been like this. Yes, Air July is so great.
Art. The seal clap.
There's a seal clap, right? But it wasn't that, right? Because this thing,
And
they don't want excellence. They want BS, mediocrity, and this victim narrative. And what I'm here to tell people is that, this stuff is not actually real, right? And the thing is that, like, they call white excellence racism. Black excellence, they have all kinds of names for black excellence, right? Like reverse this, and they have all these terms. If you're a white guy, you want to be excellent at whatever it is you do, you're racist. Yet, here's the thing. I always tell you guys, there is a need for a white James Brown to say it loud, I'm white and I'm proud, right? Look, I'll go ahead and go in whiteface. I'll do white guys a solid.
I was just going to say have Dick Ricady in the blackface.
I will go in whiteface and help out white guys who are taking the brunt of everything. Because Black and I have talked about this. The same target on white guys' back was on black guys' back. They blame black guys for everything, man. It didn't matter. Dude, there wasn't a black guy literally 500 miles away. They were blaming black guys for something. So I'm here to tell guys, man, we have to push this brotherhood narrative. All of us should be working together to create new stuff like what happened to Air July. Create new content. Because Black, what you said about your son going to see, Thor, Love and Thunder. Think about what if you weren't there, right? What if your son was product of a single mom? Where's he gonna get masculine influence? Everything he looks at now is a rainbow agenda, right? Effeminate black dudes, weirdos, cucks, beta male simps, manginas.
Have you seen the new Black Panther?
Wait a minute. Before we even get on that, you bring that up. Like we were talking about masculine roles, alpha male roles.
Yep.
That's the last one you're going to see.
Well, and they kind of cut him in his own movie.
Yeah, within the original Black Panther, because they won't ever do that again.
Oh yeah,
they're getting ready to. You talk about a revenge tour for everything else, everything whether it's rainbow related, feminism. They're about to load it up in this.
Oh
movie.
Yeah.
Well, the target has always been the kids, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, when you and I were growing up, we got to watch movies like Blade, right? We saw Blade in theater. Blade was a hard R. For those who don't know, who think Black Panther was the first time they saw a Marvel character who was a black guy. No, Blade came long before that. And audiences were mesmerized by this, man. They were mesmerized. And the thing is that we look at this as a whole, right? And I think that like we need protection. Like these properties that are traditionally masculine characters, guys that people want to see on screen, kicking ass, whether they're in comic books or whatever, they need to be protected. Because, Black, we talk about the topic of brotherhoods and all that, right? And protecting great IPs so that they don't go woke. You and I both know what season is getting ready to come up, which is football, right? The very basis of football is protection. Mm-hmm. If someone says, "Hey Tim, you got the best quarterback ever," what does that mean if you have no line, right? You become David Carr. Yeah. For those of you guys who don't know, David Carr was drafted by the expansion team Houston Texans, and I have never seen somebody get laid out that much, man. Go look up his stats. This dude
I don't
was
know,
getting laid
Zach
out.
Wilson. Zach Wilson with the Jets.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There's a
Tim,
picture. There's a picture of these two 380-pound linemen, and they got the guy up sideways and over their head.
Here's the thing, though. If you're in his position, right? What if you're an audience member, right? You're sitting in the stands, and someone's like, "Yeah, man, this guy sucks." You don't know, right? It's hard to analyze talent when the guy's not being protected. Like if let's just say. Yeah, Tim Couch. Yeah, a lot of these dudes, dude, you get drafted by the Browns or the Bengals, your career was already over back in the day. You were done before it started.
So what do we deal with the Deshaun Watson situation?
Yeah, Black.
6 games. 6 games.
Now, Black, I got to ask you this. What do you think about the nature of how that all went down with the Giga Cuck Roger Goodell?
Oh, my gosh. So the whole, that's another thing we talked about. So the whole thing with Deshaun Watson. I mean, obviously, it's like, okay, we're giving it 6 games. We're going to try to make an example, do all these other things. I'm like, look, let's just put it out there and be honest. I'm like, we narrowed it down. It's like when women when you're a dude, you got money, and they have a chance to exploit, it's like they want the money, the dick, and the conviction. They want it all. They want all those 3 components. And I'm like, and they'll settle for 2. You're like, hey, well, give me the money and the dick. And okay, we'll pass on the conviction. I mean, that's essentially what it is. That's what this was. I'm like, there is no way you can tell me that all these women, and again, Deshaun, he's got his own issues or whatever with that. I'm like, dude, you're Deshaun Watson. Really? A part of me is like, really? Dude, you can go get any thought you want.
Now, Black, let me tell you, Tom Brady got 4 games for refusing to give his cell phone to Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
And possibly asking another person to deflate footballs, but only slightly, that it was barely noticeable with precise scientific equipment.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And Deshaun Watson gets 6 for allegedly graping 24 people.
Yeah. Allegedly. Here's the thing. I'll tell you what the biggest problem is with Deshaun Watson's case. It's that we have to do a breakdown of the fact that, A, this was taken to 2 different grand juries at the criminal level, right? Both dismissed. Do you know why they dismissed? This is for all you people who don't know, because I already know. Here's the thing. The media loves to paint this picture about black guys. They don't say nothing about Chad Wheeler, who actually did do when he beat down that German Shepherd.
Man.
They didn't say one word about that. You did not hear his name. You haven't heard one word about Chad Wheeler, right? Now, that's neither here nor there. The problem I have with the media is that, the media loves to talk all this stuff about black oppression and blah, blah, blah. The black man is always, the victim. Yet, do you know who loves piling on black guys more than anybody? That same mainstream media. ESPN is going to love this story. And here's the thing. They don't want to acknowledge that the grand jury said no bueno, right? They don't want to say that. So what they're going to do is they're going to go like this. Deshaun Watson settled. He was suspended. Let me get this straight. So it wasn't a criminal matter because the cops or the DA, they tried to bring it before a grand jury twice. Didn't work. The reason why you settle in civil cases, for those of you guys who don't know, the reason you settle is because your lawyer's like, it's more cost effective.
Yeah.
So you're going to sit in court
forever? Pay them
forever?
this much of money and tell them to fuck off.
Tell them to fuck off. Yeah, you never have to see him again. Like, done. Especially, remember, he just
That's
signed
why
that
I
deal
don't
for guaranteed
think
money.
Michael Jackson did it.
No. Well, here's the thing. The kids came out later as adults saying, they lied.
Yeah.
Their parents told them to lie.
Dude, this money changes people.
It changes people, man. The allure of money.
Money is involved. People they'll do some shit you never would believe, and then this is no different. I'm like, dude, there's probably so many cases of stuff like this.
Well, I mean, you can watch it real time. As soon as I start getting lawyer money, you can watch it in real time.
No,
these people are frauds, man.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. I'm just like, man, you have a target on your back.
How many problems? Think of your day-to-day problems, right? Just Someone cut you off in the freeway, you give him the finger, he slams his brakes, gets out the car, and starts yelling at you. Hey, I'm going to give you $100. Just get back in your car and go away.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. That's a double-edged sword, right? So the flip side of that sword is really simple, right? So in the same way that you can have money gets rid of problems, money creates the same problems it gets rid of, right? So watch this.
And it's family. It's always family.
Family first. They know who you are, right?
Yep.
And they're like, oh, is that Mike Tyson on a plane? Let me go provoke him.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
you see what I'm saying? Like so that's the flip side of it. In the same way a person can say, well, I'll just pay somebody off, is the same reason why these women were targeting him, the way they targeted Brett Kavanaugh, the way they targeted Justin Bieber. Look, he wasn't even there. Bieber wasn't even there.
Never even touched a girl in his life. Are you kidding me?
The fallacy that gets put out here, like it's this narrative. And the thing is, though, is that I look at Deshaun, and here's the thing: the NFL overreach does not get talked about. Like, we talk about brotherhood, right? It's supposed to be a union. How weak is the NFL union that a guy is? This is basically double jeopardy. He sat out all last year, Tim. The whole year he didn't play. He didn't play. How is he getting suspended for 6 more games? How? You sat out, and then you're okay. So you're suspended for settling. Okay, so watch this. Next time an owner does something, let's make sure they get canceled, right? Let's not forget. Remember Jim Irsay? Remember that? He was driving with the money and the drugs and the
look at
Schneider.
Schneider. Yep.
Look
guys
at the
all kinds of
Dolphins.
stuff.
Look at the Dolphins just now. Tampering. Well, everybody tampers. First of all, everybody tampers.
Everybody does.
Robert Kraft. Although good on him. Good on him at his age getting a happy ending.
Yeah. But this thing, though, people want to, and this is the problem I have. When the people from the outside are always quick to try to do this like moral high ground, like, Robert Kraft needs to be punished. Punished for what? Let me get it straight. You believe Robert Kraft should be punished as an owner for going to a little spa and getting a happy ending. You believe that he should be punished for what? What did he do?
Any guy who thinks you should be punished for that has clearly never had a happy ending before.
First of all, no. Most of these dudes are just bitch-made simps. Look, I told you guys, I was on Facebook today, right, Black? Before we got on the show, right? And you would be amazed at these dudes saying, how dare Deshaun Watson only get 6 games? Once again, bros over hoes is not a thing. These guys, look, whatever the narrative is, these guys are already on Believe All Women. They're already on Me Too. These dudes are allies. It means they're not your ally. They're your axis. Fucking fraudulent ass dudes. Now, Black, I want to ask you this, though. When we get down to the fact that, as we close this out with, needing a brotherhood, needing guys to protect everything, right? To hold each other accountable, but also protect each other, to support each other. And then, of course, we're always striving for that excellence to always be the best versions of ourselves. I don't know if you heard about what happened to our man Undead Chronic, who got literally deplatformed, like yeeted off of everything. He got TFM style. We go deeper into this cancel culture, and the real fear, of course, is the payment processor, right? It's Black Mirror level because Tim, canceling you is not that bad, right? If you get canceled off of Twitter, that sucks.
Yeah.
Cancel off Facebook, it sucks.
Speaking of which, you've already caught one Twitter
I already got canceled. Yeah, I already got banned from Twitter, right? And
you were clearly having too much fun on there.
Here's the crazy thing. So Black, do you know what I got banned from Twitter for 12 hours?
What?
This is all I text. Ho's gonna hoe. I'm not joking. That got me banned. Now you've seen what kind of things are on Twitter, right? And what kind of things people say. I got banned for saying ho's gonna hoe. That's it. 3 words.
You mean all the racist,
all the stuff that gets out there? That's what I got banned
on
for.
Twitter?
You know when they called Clarence Thomas the N-word? Now, for the record,
hard R.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. But keep the same energy.
Keep the same energy.
Yeah.
They went hard R's. Here's the thing, though. When you start doing this kind of cancel, this is why this is so dangerous. This is why you need that brotherhood. You need to hold everyone accountable, and we all need to be excellent together. And this is why. Because when someone can say, we're not just going to cancel you, we're going to take away your ability to make money. What happens when they say, like, you guys remember this with Donald Trump? They were like, oh, yeah, banks aren't allowed to bank with him, right? There were certain banks. There were people out there who were celebrating this, right? Yeah, because Trump was a bad guy. I'm like, bro, you not see the problem with something? Like, you would be amazed how lost in the sauce.
Billionaire.
If a billionaire Former president can get banned from banking, and you're cheering for that. Who are you?
Don't come calling me when the government freezes your bank account because you said honk honk on Twitter.
Oh, you saw it happen in China. Hey, Black, what do you think about that? You came to get your money out, fam.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're making up fake COVID, like fake positive tests on the COVID app, right? Of course, because everything in China is on your phone. So they have an app that gives you permission to go outside in China.
It's no joke, man. Black, think about this. All right, man, fuck this, man. I see the country's bad. I'm going to take my money and just bounce. I'm going to cash my chips. You go to the bank, like, yeah, we're not going to give you your money. Well, how am I going to pay my bills? We don't know, but you can't get your money out. The bills don't go away. This happened in Greece.
Oh, and the bank
my
is the
God.
one that's collecting the bill, too.
Yeah. The bank.
Hey, you're late. You're late on your bill payment.
All right,
you
give me
guys have my money.
You have my money. Like, Black, do you see how insane that is? How insane. Like, that's insanity. How can the bank be the one that you owe the bill to, and you're saying, well, give me my money, I can go pay my bill, and they say, oh, no, we're not going to give you your money. We're not letting you take your money out. Wait, well, what do you want me to do? Because you can't throw everyone in prison. You can't get rid of them, right?
Right.
You can't default.
Yes.
And you know what the ultimate goal is? I've seen this happen too many times in the recession that hit Alberta. Mm-hmm. When there's a young father who cannot provide for his family, it does a lot to his head.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And he goes to some very dark places. But that's the goal.
Oh, yeah.
They want you to do that.
Yeah.
You're an inconvenience, but rather than doing the Hillary Clinton treatment to Epstein, right? Mm-hmm. Which probably got us kicked off YouTube right now, but whatever. Instead of that, why don't I just make you kill yourself?
Yeah.
Or yeet yourself, if I'm going to use the YouTube safe language.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
Because that's
dude,
a
I
lot
didn't
easier.
realize it was that bad.
Oh, dude,
Bad
man,
over there,
bad,
dude. You
man.
getting your own money. You can't
Your own
even
money.
do
Like,
that.
imagine someone telling you you don't get access to your own money. Like, think about it. People can say what they want about America. Yeah, America does suck. However, if you want to leave this country, you could literally go cash out all the money you have and just hop on a plane and bounce. Like, nothing stops you from doing that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Imagine if not only could you not get your money out, but like you're not even allowed to leave. You see what I'm saying? Like, Tim, you need permission from the government to leave the country. Like you can't just go, I'm just gonna get on this plane and go leave. No. They're like, no. You don't have a social credit score high enough, right, to leave.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what happened to me in
Social
England.
Credit score.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you didn't do enough. You're like, I did everything. No. You didn't do enough. You're like, what does that mean?
It's like the one time in my
3 days
life
ago.
the color card didn't actually do anything. You know, because Britain doesn't give a shit about natives, right? They
Nope.
don't. There's nothing. There's no oppression Olympics in England when it comes to natives.
Nope. Yeah, you guys are forgotten.
Yeah. No, well, and we're forgotten specifically because Britain did this to us.
Yeah, right? Well, yeah,
Right?
yeah. You guys
Like,
are under the,
come
you guys
on.
are literally under the crown. Canada is under the crown. So
Britain is the reason why we are all fucked up. The reason that we have the Indian Act, the reason that we have the Jay Treaty, right? Those are all English common law.
yep.
No.
What a shitty scenario.
We don't own that. That's like us saying that other M doesn't exist. England's like, no, we did nothing to the natives. That was all Canada's.
Is it
That
other
was all
M?
Canada. Canada and U.S. fucked over the natives. It wasn't us. Guys,
It's I'll tell you the problem with what you just said though. There's people who believe it because that's what I'm noticing is the problem. The problem is not a false narrative. The problem is that there's people dumb enough to believe it. Like I've heard people say some things, man. And Black, I know you've been in the same situation, right? You look at them because excellence is not preached in schools to be. We don't have that talk anymore, right? The 110% talk. That talk is gone because there's no dad in the house. So you got people out here who are literally just pawns, right? They're just NPCs. And you listen to what these people say. You're like, wait, are you serious? Like, here's the thing. I've heard people so stupid, I swore they were trolling. Like, I've had people say things to me where I went, nah, you're funny, man, you're trolling. And then you look at them and you're like, oh, wait, you're serious?
Yep.
oh, I cannot tell satire from.
I don't know
regular
anymore.
article Like
Don't
people
know.
send us articles all the time, right?
You don't
Yep.
know, just
I can't tell if half
I
of
don't
them
know.
are satire.
I don't know anymore.
dude,
Because this
I
this
mean,
is
it's
clown
all
world,
dumbed
right?
down, man. People don't think for themselves.
They don't think at all.
Yeah,
Like, they
I
will
mean-
literally sit there and like, look, here's what's funny, man.
Tell me what to think.
Here's how painful it is. I hate to put my mom on the spot. It hurts me, but She's so deluded by CNN. She believes it is the right that comes after Dave Chappelle. I looked at her, I'm like, are you serious? Tim, it's those Republicans. Yeah, the yes. And I'm like, you do know it's the left. And then we look. And then you start talking about, like, yeah, they're trying to make, pedophiles be like a protected class. I'm like, who do you think is doing that? Tim, you would be amazed. The cognitive distance, you'd be amazed. I'm like, the system, look, congrats to the deep state. They won. If you can get people who claim to be educated to be this dumb, you've won.
Yeah, Shout out to our buddy Dick Masterson there for doing the Jokes Are Funny protest at Netflix headquarters.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. That was right after the first time Dave Chappelle got in trouble, right? Yeah.
Dick caught a rock in the face from that, right?
Did he?
Yeah. Someone like bashed his head into a
You know what I find funny about sculpture. That, though? These people sure are quick to try to use violence, right?
Oh, they have so many tricks. They were telling us, like, the amount of tricks, if you actually embed yourself into one of these Antifa protests, Drex, they have trigger words.
Of course.
If one person says the word, there's 100 eyes on you.
Yep.
Right? Oh, he's got a weapon. And then everyone turns and looks at you. And you're just like, I've got a stick. It's a stick.
Yep. Well, but at the same time, though, I've always said, I mean, I've seen what these Antifa guys are like. These are little bitch-made soy boys.
Oh, they have to swarm you.
These people have never been around real people before. Like I've always told you guys, man, let the Hell's Angels show up to some of these places. I can guarantee you the little Antifa people. Because here's the thing. A lot of these people have never been around, like, Black, you and I have talked about this. They've never been around real thugs, career criminals. Like, dudes who, look, you'll be around people out there who will tell you they don't care about serving life or the death penalty. Like, they're like, dude, I'll shoot up the whole block. They just don't care. So when you're around someone like that, and then you think hitting someone with a bike lock is going to work. No, these dudes will go ahead and Swiss cheese you up. So when you're around that kind of environment, you realize, oh, I see why Antifa's strong in Portland and Seattle, because no one's going to do nothing to them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No one's going to do nothing.
Not only that, so you bike lock one of their comrades. Drex, it's not just that they respond then and there. Yeah, bullets will fly. A couple of, some dusters will get dusted, right? Then they'll come visit you. Yep. They'll say, oh, hey, I got your arrest record. I got your home address. Hey, guess whose house is going to burn down?
Of course. But here's the thing, though. One thing I've always reminded people, though, is that remember this, though. When it comes to groups of people, especially who are bitch made, because most groups are bitch made, you only need to beat down 2 or 3. That's all it takes. Like, if you ever get jumped,
well, they scatter like cockroaches, right?
Yeah. You get jumped. That ain't nothing.
We've seen
there
this.
There are people who are afraid of getting jumped. Like, oh my God, I'm being surrounded. Black, you've seen this happen. We talked about this. When people get jumped, you literally can knock out 2 people and they literally scatter. Because all the other guys were there to do was watch, egg on, and then like kick you while you're down.
Yeah.
So
maybe
if you don't
get like one kick in there.
Yeah, right? One good kick. So if I gotta give a shout out to Robert Kirkland for the writer of The Walking Dead, because my favorite character, Negan, he actually says this in the comic book. He's like, he gets surrounded by the Whisperers, right? And he's like, I know I can't take on all you guys. He goes, there's maybe a good 1 or 2 you can actually fight, right? He goes, as long as Frowny McTwo-Knives doesn't jump in, that's Beta, right? The huge hulking, final boss, right? He's like, basically, as long as Beta doesn't enter, I only need to knock out like 2 or 3 of you guys, and the rest of you guys are going to run anyway.
Yep.
So people, this has been well known, but like Black, these people don't understand because they, like I said, they don't want to, and that's why we're going to keep doing what we do. We're going to keep striving for perfection, which is what the intro to Raekwon's album, Only Built for Cuban Links. We're going to strive to be excellent. We're going to keep on chatting with people who are all over the world who want to unite in that brotherhood and go ahead and say things that's real and not be censored. People keep acting weird with that. I can't say these words. I need to ask for permission.
I'm telling you, man. If you ever watch the show on Showtime, hopefully they get a second season. But The Man Who Fell to Earth, there's a concept of drones and adepts in the show. There's a deeper meaning. The show is hilarious as hell, but there's meanings within meanings of the show.
Yep.
If you're paying attention, I'm like, damn, this is kind of society. when you start thinking about who's a drone and who's an adept, right? Drones
Yep.
just do what they're told,
Yep.
right? This is what it is. Adepts are supposed to be a superior class and all this, and they basically tell the drones what to do. But what happens when the drone has now his adept characteristics,
Yep.
right? And that person's thinking on them, but for themselves and all that. Oh, well, it's a
Yeah.
different
Once
game
basically
now.
once he gets fed up, right? Like once he gets fed up,
right,
and they're
right.
like, "Yo, we're not tolerating this no more. We're gonna do X, Y, and Z." That's when
Yep.
everything changes, man.
Yep.
Well,
So
Black, I'll give you the last word, man. You want any last words before we close up?
no, man. Hey, as always, appreciate the opportunity to jump on the show, man. I support you guys, love what you do. So, it's always good to support your fam. So that's all, man. Looking forward to more shows to come if the YouTube police doesn't come out.
Oh man, look, they're gonna be out there, man, in droves.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, you know what I'm saying. Look, it gives me more press, man. Fuck these people.
How dare you, Susan? How dare you cancel a black-owned podcast with a Native American and a British masculine presenting transgender lesbian? Like, how dare you?
How dare you? I love how
All
that
right.
became like a damn like giga meme.
Yeah.
Fucking Greta.
Yeah. Have you heard from her lately? Look who suddenly faded out of the spotlight when she became the age of consent.
Yeah. She has no use anymore, right?
Yeah.
They used her up, and now they don't need her anymore. Ugh.
But all right, well, we traditionally sign off this show with "Stay Frosty." However, thanks to Rico Reckless, I think we have a new slogan.
Rico Reckless. Well, hell, it ain't even frosty no more, man. Look, this is one of the nastiest heat waves in a while because I'm actually over it. I'm not saying I want fall to be here. I'm just saying I don't want it to be 106 degrees when I go outside. Heat index, man. Because for those of you who don't know, it was 102 today in Minnesota. 102 in Minnesota does not feel the way you want it to feel anywhere else.
Oh no, with all
It's
that
humidity.
water, it's got to be so
It's just a steam
sticky
bath
out there.
It's a pure steam bath, man. Like instant sweat. Like you walk outside. I mean, Black, you've been to Florida. You know what it's like. Anybody out there who can go to club. This is for all you girls out there. I don't know how these hoes go to clubs in humid climates, bro. I'm like, look, I've been to Florida. How do you go to the club when it's 110 and you walk outside the car, you're soaked? Ugh, I'm sweating. How is this comfortable?
You should just
Drake.
go like they go to the grocery store. Just go in your bonnets.
How do people go to Anime Matsuri? You want to talk about hot and humid? You want to talk about Houston in July?
Houston's nasty, man. It's nasty. But here's the thing: at least with Matsuri, you can actually minimize it so long as you have an Uber, because Uber will get you like right up to the door, basically. And then you go. The AC is great at Matsuri. Like you go, you're like,
Sure.
oh, that feels good.
But
that
Drex,
feels so good.
There's some people at Matsuri who do not bathe.
Oh yeah, look. Okay, and I'm gonna address that before we close up. Look, man. Okay, we talk about excellence here. We talk about brotherhood here. This is for all the brothers out there. Let people know it is not okay to not take hygiene seriously. All of you anime dudes, like I said, it seems to be the weeb guy that seems to be the most averse to showering. I don't know where this came from. I don't know who raised you. You need to take a bath. And for all these people in certain cultures, I got to address these goddamn Africans. For people who are coming from cultures where, we don't wear deodorant, no, you're going to start wearing it. Are you in America? Yeah, start wearing deodorant like Americans do. Because I'm getting tired
Indians.
of musty-ass dudes. Okay?
By the way, shout out to Legal Mindset. He called you a simp for not making it down to Matsuri.
Look, I saw shout out to
I'm gonna
Andrew.
start wearing a mask to the gym just so
Dude.
check
Yeah.
myself.
There's
nothing to do
there's
with
some dudes
that.
out there. I'll tell you what's bothering me. Old sweat. You guys ever smell old sweat? We're like, what the fuck?
Hockey equipment is the
Yeah, hockey
worst
equipment. Yeah,
for
you're like,
that.
hockey equipment is
my God.
it is nasty. It's literally rancid. So I'm like, bro, okay, you're in the gym. Did you okay, let me get this straight. Did you work all yesterday and then you went to sleep in the same clothes, then you woke up and went to work today in the same clothes, and then you left there and then came to the gym? Because how do you have old sweat?
Drex, if you can smell yourself, everyone else can smell you across the room.
Yeah. If you ever go like this, if you ever say, "Damn, I stink," If you think you stink, that means other people think you smell atrocious.
Like there are people in the other room falling over.
Yeah, dude, please,
Like, look,
guys,
it's
bathe,
cute.
please.
It was cute when you were 14 and you're like, no, Mom, I'm never gonna take another shower again. And there's like shit stuck in your hair, right? Until your mother literally dragged you into the backyard and hit you with the garden hose.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you what kept guys showering back in the day. Like I said, outside of summer break, Black knows it was girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Drex, no one talks to girls anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing. You know what though? I think that this is one of the negative consequences though. People can say what they will, but like guys pursuing girls back in their their pubescent years, I think that kind of kept them at least socially functional and kept them hygienic.
Yeah.
You did not want to go around girls stinking, bro. Your life ended at school if you were the stinky kid.
You got that
And it was
label.
always some big tub of lard too.
Big tub of like, dude, don't do it, man. Like you don't want to be about that life. So it's like, even if you change later on, girls don't forget that you used to be the stinky kid.
Yeah.
You can be successful or whatever. They're like, ew, God, you were Stinky Tom. It's like, don't be that guy, man. So guys, go out there and bathe.
Take a
Please
fucking
bathe.
shower.
Please take a shower.
Once. And don't forget, as always, get that butt.
Man, stay toxic, kings. We're out.